my buddy shoots me a text, right? It says, so I want to build a ported open gun out of a striker fired pistol. Do you think it could be done? I'm like, hell yeah, it could be done. Boy, I got like 10 guns like that, right? So I write him back and I say, the most versatile platforms are Glock and Sig. Just depends on your personal preference. Y'all know me, Sig fanboy all day. He said, I was thinking Sig with the Parker machine mount barrel and comp, and it's going to need to have an amazing trigger. So I'm like, oh man, you'll be able to get a better trigger out of a Glock. They just got more options. But Sig has various trigger shoot options, but you're not really going to be able to change the internals too much. But the Parker mount barrel and comp is a beast. But in my opinion, the best comp on the market right now is the Radian RAM Jet. So that's how this conversation started, right? So the 2024 season, we're already thinking about that, me and my buddy Shawn. And if you're not checking him out, check out his channel, The Life of Shawn. He's on Instagram. He's on YouTube. Check him out, right? So we're having this conversation, and it's kind of centered around like 2024 and what's happening. And then also, the last shooting match of the season is this weekend. I'm super freaking excited, but I'll talk about that in a second, right? I've recommended to him that if it was up to me and I was building a gun, it's really between Glock and Sig. I think they have the most versatile platform. I'm definitely a Sig guy. I'll have a Sig preference. But if you want to be more cost efficient, I'd probably go with the Glock platform. Now, my buddy, he likes like 1911, 2011 style guns, and he's currently shooting that Canik Rival S, the steel joint, and he likes that grip angle and stuff like that. So I'm like, even though you like the Sig, I kind of thinking of something that's going to fit his shooting preference a little bit better. So I was like, man, you could go Glock, but he was like, man, Glock got a terrible trigger. I'm really not feeling it. I'm like, bro, I got the remedy for you, right? So I'm gonna tell you the recipe for the perfect Glock build. If it was me, the first thing I would start with is a Palmetto State Armory dagger. That's what I would start with. One of the reasons why you can get a complete gun for probably like maybe like 300 bucks or so, man, probably even less than that. And then you were kind of like, you were in the game. You got everything you need right off the bat, right? The next thing I would do regarding triggers, if I had a Palmetto State Armory dagger, and I'll say this about the dagger trigger is not great, and something about the dagger platform, playing with triggers, it could be a little finicky because I didn't went through that with mine. It took me a while to get my trigger set up properly. It wasn't so much like drop in like any of the Glock I built. That the dagger gave me the most difficulty building that and messing with the trigger, right? But if I were to get another one, the trigger I would go with is the Johnny Glock's trigger system. I would spend about maybe 300 bucks and get that. Now, 300 bucks sounds like a lot, but there's a reason why this guy's name is Johnny Glocks. That's all he does is Glocks, triggers and all that other stuff, right? Now, you could get a Johnny Glock's trigger system for 200 bucks. But once you go on his website and you start getting to the different options, there's other different things that you can upgrade that's part of the trigger system. If I got a trigger system from him, I would do the additional upgrades. That's why I say I'd probably be in it for about 300. Now, Johnny Glock specifically has a trigger for the dagger, and it looks freaking amazing. I'm going to pull it up right here. I was on IG the other day. I don't know how long this thing been out, but I just seen it a couple of days ago, and it was crazy that I was having this conversation with my buddy Shawn, and then this trigger came up, and I sent it to him on Instagram. He's like, dude, I freaking hate you, man. You are so resourceful. You always find this stuff, but I am, right? But that Johnny Glock's trigger, bro, it looks freaking dope, man. And the thing I know about Johnny Glock's, whatever he makes, he stands behind, and that stuff, it works. It works, and he has unmatched customer service. Johnny Glock says, hey, get my number, pick up the phone, call me, and we can have a conversation. That's what he says. Call me. So anyway, Palmetto State Armory, I'd get the full gun. Then I'd get the Johnny Glock's trigger system. I'll do some upgrades, you know, whatever options are there on his online platform. And then the next thing I would do, right, the slide, I'm not too crazy about the slide. I'd keep all the internals, all that stuff is the same. Definitely be cut for optics. The optics I would choose would be the Hollow Sun 507 comp. I am really liking that optic, man. I would say it'd be between that or the Trijicon SRO. And I do like the SRO. I have them both, but the SRO is like 600 bucks, man. You can get you a 507 comp for 3. If you're really, really lucky, you might find them low 3, and sometimes you could catch them on sale for like high 2s, maybe like 296 or something like that. Usually I get most of my dots from Primary Arms, man. Primary Arms be getting good stock. If something goes out of stock, they restock pretty fast. They ship everywhere. They got lightning fast shipping, and they usually have the best prices, in my opinion. That's why I usually go with Primary Arms, right? So we got the PSA whole gun. We got the Johnny Glock's trigger. I do the HoloSun 507 comp optic. Now for the barrel system and everything, the Radian RAM Jet. That's what I would go with, bro. I have a lot of interest with that. And one of the reasons I recommend the Radian RAM Jet is because you can get the system, put it in the gun, and it's done. If you want to get the gun ported, you either got to make sure you got your windows in your slide, or you got to send your slide off or send your barrel off. And if you're an individual that doesn't want to send something off and wait for it to come back, I think the Radian RAM Jet is the thing for you. Now, I think ported guns shoot way better than comped guns. But if you wanted something with some type of porting system, some type of comp system, the Radian RAM Jet is where it's at. I've tried so many different comps, man. There was like I want to call it like TBCs, like a Texas rifle something. I use their comp, the ARC Systems comp. I use like the micro comp. All those comps are okay, but they don't react like a ported barrel. Now the Radian RAM Jet, if you ever watched a side-by-side video, there's some people that got them on YouTube and they show them shooting like a stock Glock, and then they're shooting a Glock with the Radian RAM Jet. Seeing them side-by-side, you don't see a lot of difference in like the muzzle flip and everything, but I think it's one of the things you gotta feel to know what's real. The match that I shot last weekend, and if you haven't seen that video, check it out.
Make ready.
Nope, don't want to do that.
Are you ready? Stand by.
What was that?
302.
Nah, drug testing.
Are you ready?
The match I shot last weekend, there was a guy out there with the Radian RAM Jet, and he was like, it's on point. And I seen him shoot it, and he was handling his business. Now the Radian RAM Jet is expensive. Those things are normally like $400+. But if you want to buy one right now, jump on Primary Arms. They have them on sale for $350. That's the cheapest I ever seen them. I've considered getting one just to build another gun around it, man, because that's the cheapest I've ever seen the Radian RAM Jet. But if I was building a striker fire pistol that I was going to do some running and gunning with and compete, it would be the PSA Dagger as a whole system. I would do the Johnny Glock's trigger system with the upgrades. I would do the HoloSun 507 comp optic, the Radian RAM Jet, and for the magazine, well, I would do the SLR Rifle Works. That is the Magwell for the Dagger, right? My Dagger, I have a 3D printed joint that I got off eBay, and it works, but it's not SLR Rifle Works, man. It's not that. I don't know if they use aluminum or a type of steel, whatever, but their Magwell is far superior than any 3D printed one, in my opinion. It's just, you know, 3D printed things just have a different type of feel to them. And I'm not saying that the 3D printed one doesn't work, it doesn't perform, but for the full aesthetics, everything, fit and finish, I would recommend the SLR Rifle Works, man. I would recommend the SLR Rifle Works, man. That is it. Now, that's the Glock version of it, right? If I was building a gun to compete with, and I was gonna go with the SIG route, the SIG route's a little more pricey. I do think you could get a better trigger with the Glock, but the SIG, this is where I start with the SIG. I would get a SIG AXG. That's what I would start with. That gun is heavy. I like the size of it. I like the mechanics of it. And then the slide has all the cuts in it, right? After I get the AXG, I would take the barrel out and I would send it off to get ported. I would send it to Impact Machines. Those guys are out in Louisiana. What you can do is, because I've done this before, I'd have a barrel, I'd take a black marker, and I mark where I want my barrel ported, send it to them, they port it and send it back, man. Quick turnaround. I think they did it in like, maybe like 10 days. From the day I sent it to the mail to the day I got it back. They are super freaking fast, right? I would do the AXG, SIG, send the barrel off to get ported. Optic, I would do the same optic, the HoloSun 507 comp. Trigger, I wouldn't mess with the AXG trigger. I could live with it. I could live with the AXG trigger. Now, with the AXG frame, the grip panels are removable and you can swap them out. I want to say it's called like the low-key grips or something like that. They make these brass grips and they kind of got like a 3D polygon type of look to them. They're real dope and they're freaking heavy, man. I would throw those grips on there, get that extra weight, get that extra girth. Man, throw an X300 on that joint. That joint would be nasty, man. I've been wanting a SIG AXG for freaking forever. I think eventually I will buy one, and everything I said right now, I would probably do that to the gun. But if I was going to build a striker fire gun to compete with, that would be my way to do it. PSA, Dagger, Johnny Glock system, SLR Rifle Works, Magwell, throw on the HoloSun 507 comp, the Radian RAM Jet, and you be freaking rocking and rolling. The SIG platform, I will start with the SIG AXG, send my barrel off the Impact Machines, get it ported, throw the HoloSun 507 comp on there, and change out the grips to them low-key tactical grips, man. And I believe the SIG AXG, I'm not sure if it comes with those 21 round mags, but those SIG 21 round mags, dude, I got like, I don't know, probably like 20 of them joints, man. I've just been collecting over the years and from the different SIGs that I have purchased. But those mags, those 21 round mags, man, they freaking run, man. So, hey, real quick, if you are liking the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. This all started from my guy Shawn, man, talking about what he's going to build. But those would be my two, like, run and gun kind of ultimate pistols, man. And I think I would shut stuff down with it. And it kind of just random throwing this in there. Like I said, this weekend is the last match of 2023. And I was trying to figure out, like, what I want to shoot. I've been running a lot of my SIGs lately. I think I'm going to bring the Prodigy out, man. I'm going to bring out the Prodigy, bro. I'm going to bring my Prodigy out. I was messing with the other day, you know, just rechecking. Everything is still torqued down, the optic and everything, kind of dry from it. And I ain't shot that gun in a while, and it's a beast, man. My Springfield Armory Prodigy is a freaking beast, man. It's got like that 2-pound trigger. It's freaking running. I think I'm going to bring it out this weekend, man. But after I get done shooting, I'll film everything up. It'll be the closeout of the year, and then we'll be back out here, man, 2024, shooting some more guns, man. But that's all I got for you. I'm your boy, Mr. RobbArmstrong. I'm out.